Come see this thing, 1539, Antisemitism Awareness, UK Adults in Charge, Silent Running. This is a series where I summarize a rantatonne post made up of at least 3 things that I've read, seen, or heard. First question, are Israeli politerati manifesting the very things that traumatize them? I believe that statism is a type of religion, but why would the politerati that believe in statism, that feel that drive, that calling to actually seek office, seek political office, still do things that end up hurting the state, nation, or people they claim to be acting on behalf of? Keeping this in mind, I'm going to take something that Daryl Cooper, while talking to Tom Woods, reinforced here in saying that when you look at people who you might not like doing things you might disagree with, think about it that they at one time in their life were some 5-year-old, and when they were 5, something disagreeable that you might dislike could have happened to them. That's a possibility. So putting aside things like Benjamin Netanyahu actually realizing that if the war ends, he might actually have his cases gone against him. That's why Trump might be trying to get the cases dropped. So if Netanyahu is not worrying about the cases, then maybe Trump, he can actually get him to do a ceasefire with Gaza and stop that nonsense. But take your average member of the Likud party, who is pretty much capable politician, doing other things, rational and things like that. But when it comes to danger, they at 5 may have seen the actual effects and results of what happened to their actual people. And this is 15.8 million people, which is 0.02% of the global population of like 8.4 billion people. That's an actual global minority, a realistic, actual literal minority, the Jewish people. They survived what Hitler tried to do to them. They survived all the other pogroms that other nations and other states engaged in after conveniently blaming their own mistakes on Jews. And it's mostly the ones who survived these things, who passed on their genes, passed on the way they actually look at the world. And that could lead to them kind of seeing certain dangers that might not be as present and harsh as they have been in the past. So even if they didn't have the well-cataloged evidence and lived experience of people who actually survived these things, of how bad things can actually get, it makes some sense how that inner child can come out, that inner traumatized child can come out and control the adult body with its adult capabilities and make certain decisions that don't really seem counterproductive for maintaining the health and safety of a body politic. Leading us to the next question, are there no tears in Parliament? In this section, I touch on how recently UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer was engaging in the politics as usual practice of just scapegoating something else or just ducking out of the responsibility for your own shings, to the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, who was crying in the background. I don't think she was crying about being scapegoated. This wasn't her inner child facing something so unfair all she could do is cry. I think she was crying more because she was seeing the death of her persona as a Chancellor of Exchequer and returning to a life that she may perceive as not worth living after that, even though it's a standard of living that like 99.9% of the planet, of the humans ever born, would be quite happy to have. But in her defense, I don't have to go to my inner child to kind of still think that Chancellor of the Exchequer is a pretty cool title to have. Last question, does being in touch with your inner child count as inner dialogues? And in this one, Stefan Molyneux just talks on this topic of people who don't have inner dialogues, and just, it's tough for me to imagine. Just you sit there and your brain is just quiet. It's just like on standby mode, and you're not thinking about things. How does that? It still creeps me out. I don't know. Do you or anyone you know not have an inner dialogue? Let me know how that is, if so.